Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtapraishu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Pashatade Shatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gautase Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Ye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Go Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome everyone for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class as part of Bhagavad Life program, where we're doing the overview of Srimad Bhagavatam. Can we reduce the speed of that fan by one? It's too noisy. We're reading from the fourth canto, the last chapter of the fourth canto, titled as The Activities of... Oh, there is one more chapter, sorry, 31 also. I thought this was last for some reason, yeah. So, the activities of Pracetās. And so, quick recap. Haribol, settle down, don't disturb in front. All right. So, this 30th chapter begins with Vidurji asking a question to Maitreya Muni, where he says, "Thank you for telling me about the life of Prachani, but I want to know, please continue with the story of Pracetās." We kind of interrupted in the way. You told me about up to the point when Pracetās went to perform sacrifice, they were blessed by the association of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva recited Rudra Gita, and then they went to perform tapasya. What happened after that, we don't know. Of course, we know that, or I know that, or you in fact informed that they went back home, back to Godhead. But how did they live their material life? Because I'm pretty sure after getting the darshan of the Lord, their life must have been successful. So then, this is the discussion which begins here on text number 3. Maitreya Muni begins to describe what happened when they performed their tapasya and how their tapasya was successful. They got to see the Lord. And from text number 8, Lord began to speak to Pracetās. So in the 4, 5, 6, or 5th, 6th, 7th verse, the beauty of the Lord was described, and the Pracetās got the opportunity to take darshan of the Lord. So in text number 8, very important verse, we'll just recite this verse. And then we'll start our discussion. So we discussed 4 instructions, or 4 statements of the Lord to Pracetās. Let's take a look at the first one, text number 8. Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Varam Varnitvam Bhadram
Varam
Vo
Bhadram
Yuyam Me Nandanaha
Navadantara
Sauhadena Pratatharma
Saubhadena Pitadharma
Tushto Ahvardan Denava
Shrovam Sarvande
Varam Varnitvam Bhadram Vo
Varam Vanitam Bhadram Sho
Yuyam Me Nandanaha
Yame Navanandana
Sauhadena Pratatharma
Saubhadena Pitadharma
Tushto Aham Ahvardenavaha
Shrovam Sarvande
Varam Varnitvam Bhadram Vo
Varam Bhadram Ho
Yuyam Me Napanandanaha
Nikanandana
Sauhadena Pratatharma
Saubhadena Pitadharma
Tushto Aham Ahvardenava
Pushpavaham Saubhadena
Tushto Aham. I have become pleased, Sauhardenava, by your friendship. Third line, Sauhardena apratak dharmas. Pratak means differentiation. Apratak means non-different. Apratak dharmas, performing the same activities. Sauhardena with Sauhardena with affection. Varam Varnidhvam Badram Vo, let there be all auspiciousness to you because I'm pleased from your loving relationship with each other. Ask from me any benediction that you can ask. So that was the first thing. Unity in Krishna consciousness pleases the Lord. Then text number 9. The Lord continued, those who remember you every evening of every day will become friendly with their brothers and all other living entities. Text number 10, the Lord speaks about following the Acharyas means directly hearing from Lord Shri Krishna. Because you heard Ruddha Gita and you followed Ruddha Gita spoken by Lord Shiva, it's not different from me. And Prabhupada highlights in the purport, following the instructions of Acharyas, which means following the instructions of Krishna. In other words, reading Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita commentary, which means directly in touch with or being in association of the Lord, hearing from Him. Then text number 11 talks about how obedience, yad yuyam pituradesham ahagrashta mudanvitaha. So, how obedience creates all auspiciousness and disobedience creates misery. So we were speaking yesterday in this verse. So, is Lord responsible for suffering? People ask, if Lord created all good, then why did He created evil? Well, Lord did not create evil. It's our disobedience to the laws of the nature that brings suffering on us. Text number 12. Here the Lord speaks about. Now He's talking about that how you will have a nice son. And in the following verses, Lord will speak about to whom you will get married and He'll instruct them to get married. How many prachetas are there? 10 prachetas. So there's an important number to note before we get into the discussion. Something interesting going to happen. So in text number 12, Lord says, a good son glorifies the whole family. That's a message of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is quoting Krishna. Krishna appearing in Yadu Vamsha glorified the Yadu Vamsha. Prahlad Maharaj like that. So good son glorifies the whole family. We were discussing about how somebody takes a devotional life. In the beginning, it might be difficult for the parents and the family members to accept it. Or let's say somebody decides to become a monk. It could be very, very difficult for the parents and the family members and friends and whatnot to really understand and appreciate. Rather, they become inimical at times, but have patience. Eventually, they will appreciate the good act of theirs. Text number 13 is where we begin the story now. So, Lord here will speak about the spouse, which Lord is proposing for Prachetas to get married. Text number 13. Kando Pramalochaya Labdha
Kanto Brahmachalaya Labha
Kanaya Kamalalochana
Ya Kamalalochana
Tam Chapavidham Jagruhur
Chapavidham
Guruhan Arpanandana. Translation, please.
O son of Kings Prachni Parishat, the heavenly society girl named Pramlocha kept the lotus-eyed daughter of Kandu in the care of the forest trees. Then she went back to the heavenly planet. This daughter was born by the coupling of Apsara named Pramlocha with sage Kandu.
So Prabhupada in the purpose gives the story why this Apsara, which belongs to Swarga, will have to come down to earthly planet and unite with sage Kandu. And Prabhupada says the material world is full of envy. We were discussing what Sunda Anupasunda, Yudhishthira Maharaj episode in our recent forums. This is the same point here. So text number 13, Prabhupada highlights the material world is full of envy. And then Prabhupada gives many examples. So why does Indra sends apsaras? Because he wants to disturb the tapasya of the sages. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, gives many examples. The whole material world in the middle of the purport. The whole material world is filled with such envy that everyone becomes afraid of his neighbors. Every businessman is afraid of his associates because this material world is the field of activities for all kinds of envious people who have come here to compete with the opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Prabhupada gives an example. Similar incident took place in the case of Vishwamitra. In a similar way, when King Prithu was celebrating various sacrifices, outdoing Indra, Indra became very envious and he disturbed King Prithu's sacrifice. So it's a very important point. First, uh, don't be surprised if you have to face opposition when you're doing very well. Even in spiritual life, what to speak on material life? Everyone knows in material life, the more successful you become, people will become envious. You know, but in spiritual life also there will be opposition. All these sages, there were sages. Prathu was not performing yajna for any his own purpose, but King Indra became envious. So the nature of this world is the more you progress, the more you advance, the more there will be opposition. And therefore, we recently had a discussion on the topic how to act so others do not become envious of us. And one of the very important point was do not show off. Even in the context of one's spiritual opulences, share a success only with very limited people. Don't share it without, don't broadcast it. And if you have some spiritual experiences and realizations, be very careful with whom you share. In fact, it's not even encouraged to share. Either people will not believe, or people will laugh at you, or else people will become envious of you. We discuss all this point in detail, and that's the whole purport about here. Why? Because the nature of the world is full of envy. All right. Text number 14, translation, please. Thereafter, the child who was left to the care of the trees began to cry in hunger. At that time, the king of the forest, namely the king of the moon planet, out of compassion, placed his finger, which poured forth nectar within the child's mouth. Thus the child was raised by the mercy of the king of the moon. Text number 15. So this is a child who Lord is going to introduce. Marisha, I believe, is the name of his name. And Lord will say, Pracetās, you get married. So there's a story of Marisha here. Text number 15 translation.
Since all of you are very much obedient to my orders, I ask you to immediately marry that girl who is so well qualified with beauty and good qualities. According to the order of your father, create progeny through her.
All right. So get married to this lotus-eyed girl, daughter of Kandu. And Apsara, name was Brahmalocha. Okay, text number 16. So after describing about the birth of the girl to whom the Lord is arranging the marriage of Prachetas, text number 16. So Lord asked Prachetas to get married. How many Prachetas? 10. How many girls? Hmm, interesting. Why? We just discussed about, how Nadmani came and told you this. Do you remember the story of Sundar and Upasundar? How these two boys fought with each other for a single lady? So create some rules of your association with Draupadi. Narada is saying something else, and here Krishna is saying something else. Narada is Lord's dearest associate. And Lord is saying, I bless you that you 10. In case of Pandavas, there were only 5. Bigger the number, more competition. You 10 of you get married to one girl. क्या इतनी कम थी population उस समय लड़कियों की? But there's something interesting. Text number 16. Once again, the word comes apratak dharma. Apratak dharma shilana sarvesham va samuthyama
सर्वेषां वा समुद्यः
apratak dharma shileyam
अपदगश्रीलेयं
bhuyat patni arpitashaya. So my Lord is recommending her to get married to this Prachetas because apratak dharma, they're one in their purpose, they have no differences, and their quality matches with the quality of the girl. And Prabhupada gives a very beautiful purport. Prabhupada says, only in very special exceptions, a single lady is allowed to get married to multiple men. And Prabhupada quotes example of Draupadi. And then Prabhupada says, what is that exception? Can any girl marry multiple men? No. Somebody who is very advanced and who can be equally disposed towards all her husbands, that only, which means what we're talking about here, some very advanced personalities, particularly Marisha. That's how Prabhupada describes here. So in some special exceptions, this is allowed, but the girl has to be very, very advanced. She cannot have favoritism. She cannot have one husband favorite than others, and that will lead to conflict among the brothers. Translation, please.
Your brothers are all of the same nature, being my devotee and obedient son of your father. Similarly, the girl is also the same type and is dedicated to all of you.
A very important lesson here is apratak dharma. When the purpose is one, unity becomes easy. When the purpose is one, then unity becomes possible. So there are two purposes in this world. First is to serve the Lord, and second to serve the I. And when the purposes are different, then there cannot be any unity. And we discussed yesterday how Prabhupada was quoting an example of United Nations in one of his purport. He said, we got United Nations, we got so many nations, representative nations, and so many flags. However, everyone is there for their own agenda. So therefore, United Nations only in the name, but they are not united. So that's the idea, that's the meaning of the word apratak dharma. So if we have to find unity within us or within our community, or even within the family, then we have to ask one question: what is the purpose? Are we both or are we all aligning on the same purpose? And what was the purpose of Prachetas? Purpose of Pracheta was to serve the Lord. Similarly, purpose of Manisha was also to engage in devotional service. That's the reason Lord said you are compatible to get married. All right. Now, 17th is another interesting verse, which could be surprising. Let's take a look. 17th verse. So, apratak ho gaya. Now, after blessing them to get married, Lord is arranging the marriage. But why Lord is arranging the marriage? Why the Lord did not say, be renunciate? कितने खुशी खुशी जल में रह रहे हो, जीवन बिता लो. Why did Lord propose the name of a girl for them to get married? Narad Muni didn't do that. You see how opposite at times Narad Muni and Krishna looks like? When Dakshas and they went to the forest, not for excursion, they went for tapasya. Tapasya for what? So that they can come and get purified and come back and get married. Narad said, time pass है सर, मजे करो जंगल में. उन्होंने कहा बहुत अच्छी बात है, मजे करते हैं. And they never came back. Here Lord appeared and Lord is saying, I bless you. अरे bless तो छोड़ो. Lord is playing the role of a matrimonial site, finding a spouse. Can you imagine? Those of you who are searching for a spouse, what a great challenge is to find a partner. Lord arranged for the marriage. Not only Lord arranged for the marriage, Lord is going to bless them. May you enjoy all the material opulence. What is this going on here? By the way, why did Lord bless them with the marriage? गुड़ 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 हो रहा है कुछ मुंह से बोलो ना. Yes.
They might have some personal agenda.
Lord might have personal agenda. Lord will have agenda. Lord never have an agenda. Okay. What else?
So, understanding how responsible they were, they could perform devotional service being in Grahastha ashram also.
Understanding. Okay, so they could perform.
Purport rites, because they were not only
Which purport rites?
two purports before.
What purport rites?
Purport rites, because they were Pracetās not only were great devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but were very obedient to the orders of their father. Therefore, the Lord asked them to marry the daughter of Pramalocha.
Therefore, the Lord asked them to. So, what does it mean?
They were very obedient to their father, and father had a duty to continue being Prajapati.
So, then Narada did wrong then.
He did not do right, because he initially told, because continuing the duty of a king, you need to go for.
No, Narada Muni told Daksha's sons, they were also very obedient to Daksha.
That is coming later.
Are coming later, yeah. Lord and Lord's devotee. If the devotees can be apratak, how can the Lord and Lord devotees could be apratak? Same thing. Here Prachini Varisha's sons are in the forest. Here Daksha's sons in the forest. Lord comes here and tells, you're very obedient to the father. The sons here in the forest of Daksha's sons, they're also very obedient to the father. Lord says that has to get married. Narada says, never get married. How do you reconcile is my question. Principally, they're obedient. They both are obedient. So the point is, they had come to the forest. The Prachini Varishad had sent them to the forest for the purpose of getting married only. He had asked them, go to the forest, get purified. The whole agenda was to get married. Pray to the Lord. In case of Daksha, well, that's Narad Muni is Narad Muni, as purpose writes in Bhagavad Gita, devotees of the Lord are more merciful than the Lord. So he's like, why they want to get entangled and so forth. So, but they had approached the Lord for that purpose. So therefore, whatever desired, this will come ahead also now. Point is, whatever you wish, Lord will fulfill that. Lord will not interfere. But devotee will not. Devotee would interfere, knowing that what is in best interest. So Narad Muni will never come and say, okay, I am the one who's going to arrange your marriage. That ain't going to happen. Okay, so that was the reason. So now text number 17, Lord will say, now you enjoy all the material opulences. That's another contradiction here. Please read the translation, text number 17.
The Lord then blessed all the Pracetās, saying, my dear princess, by my mercy, you can enjoy all the facility of this world as well as the heavenly world. Indeed, you can enjoy all of them without hindrance and with full strength for 1 million celestial.
Can you imagine? Lord blessed them enjoy material life. And to enjoy, to have a full enjoyment, Lord said, I bless you to have full strength of your senses. Even if you grow old, your senses will not become weak. Which means until the fag out of the life, they can still continue enjoying material life. But हमें हमारे आचार्यों की किताबों से पता चला है Prabhupada used to emphasize so much renounce. And here while Lord is apparently seems to be entangling these nice boys. Where is Narada? We need Narada right now here. Narada only has to come and save these boys. What is Lord doing? Why Lord is tempting them with material life? Prachetas have not asked. Prachetas have not even spoken yet. The Lord is himself blessing. What does it mean? So enjoying material life is not a problem. It becomes a problem when we are not qualified to enjoy. So who is qualified to enjoy? Devotees are qualified to enjoy. Indra might have had made some mistakes, but Indra is also a great devotee of the Lord. So what do you think he's doing in Swargaloka? Tapasya. What do you think Brahma is doing in Brahmaloka? Tapasya. They're enjoying. So what is the problem is the one who is qualified. What did Lord bless to Dhruva Maharaj?
36,000 years.
Long life And he fulfilled his desire of getting a kingdom greater than Brahma. So why did Lord bless Dhruva like that? Because he became qualified. How he became qualified? Because after having darshan of the Lord, all material contamination went away. The example is given just like when the sun rises, the darkness disappears. Similarly, because now Prachetas have had darshan of the Lord, they had no material contamination or inability. So in this situation, Lord blesses them, enjoy the life to the fullest, which means they are never going to misuse the given facility. Text number 18, translation, please.
Thereafter, you will develop unadulterated devotional service unto me and be freed from all material contamination. At that time, being completely unattached to material enjoyment in the so called heavenly planets as well as in hellish planets, you will return home back to Godhead.
It's something like, when a person is sick, so doctors give a restriction. For the next 5 days, have a restricted diet. But when we are here and healthy, what would doctors say? Eat whatever you want, enjoy life. Why? Because that eating will not spoil your health again. Similarly, knowing the very fact they have been freed from all contamination and they will be engaging in pure devotional service nonetheless. So now they have no restriction. Whatever they do, they're not going to get caught up. That is the point. That's the reason Lord is blessing them. Enjoy your life. Similarly, for us, when we become purified in that way, you know, apparently engaging in activities, yet the purpose of engagement is different. The purpose of engagement is the idea is how I can serve the Lord. That's how the whole idea functions. Text number 17 and 18. So that's why the Lord is blessing. Text number 19, translation, please.
Those who are engaged in auspicious activities in devotional service certainly understand that the ultimate enjoyer or beneficiary of all activities is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, when one acts, he offers the results to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and passes life always engaged in the topics of Lord. Even though such a person may be participating in family life, he is not affected by the results of his actions.
So if in case even Prachetas may wonder, Lord, what are you blessing us? So now in this next verse, Lord is saying, what is the secret of Grahastha life? The secret of Grahastha life is offer results to Krishna. Know Krishna as a proprietor, and knowing Krishna as a proprietor, therefore offer results to Krishna and always think of Krishna. That is the point. So Papa writes in the purport, there are two kinds of devotees, mature and immature. Prachetas are mature devotees. The last purport of the last paragraph of the purport, Papa talks about there are many examples in the Shastras of mature devotees who are blessed with opulence. So if Lord's name is Hari, who takes away everything, well, he does not take away everything from those who can use it properly. So the two devotees are there, mature and immature. For the immature devotee, Lord takes away everything. For the mature devotee, Lord gives them everything. Please read the last paragraph of the puppet.
If one is placed in the material opulence due to the special mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he should not consider that opulence a cause for bondage. When a mature devotee is blessed with the material opulence, he does not become affected adversely. For he knows how to employ material opulence in the service of the Lord. There are many such examples in the history of
For
the
For
world.
example, Prithu Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jarak Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Vaivaswata Manu, Maharaj, Ikshvaku, all were wealthy kings. You used their opulence for Krishna's service. So this is the whole idea about why did Lord bless Prachetas and how they would live their Grahastha ashram in that context. Now comes a very important verse, regardless of whichever ashram we are, text number 20. Very important, text number 20, yeah. नैयवधृत्य यज्ञो ब्रह्मैतद्ब्रह्मवादिभिः न मुह्यन्ति न शोचन्ति Na hashyanti yato gataha. Very, very important verse. Please read the translation.
Always engaged in the activities of devotional service.
So, question here is, what does it mean to be a mature devotee? The point of discussion here is, Lord bless Prachetas with all the material opulence and with all the strength to the senses, which means the senses are not going to fade. If the senses are not going to fade, which means they can enjoy, and the spirit of enjoyment is not going to fade. They're never going to get frustrated then. Plus, all kind of material opulence, which means they didn't have scarcity of resources also. There's no scarcity of resources, the senses are also strong, which means until the end of the life, they're going to enjoy. So what kind of blessing is this? Well, this verse addresses what kind of blessing is this. So, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Param Drashtva Nivartate. What is the meaning of mature devotee? Although you may have all the material opulences, you will still not have any taste for it. You will not have any hankering or any desire for it. Now, question is, some desire has to be there for something. I mean, there has to be some rati. If I have something, a very beautiful sense object, if I'm not getting attracted to it, which means I must be attracted to something else. We cannot give up things. We are supposed to hold. We are shelter seekers. We're not shelter givers. So we are shelter seekers. So if you're not taking shelter of this sense object, we have to take shelter of something else. So this was answers. What is a mature devotee? The mature devotee means for whom their devotional life is ever fresh. Every day when they engage in devotional life, it gives them newer and newer rasa. That makes all kind of material rasa stale and boring. Therefore, although despite having everything available to their utility, they still don't find any purpose of it because they're getting param drashva nivartate. So now question comes, so who's a mature devotee? Who's always tasting ever new, fresh spiritual rasa. So that is a mature devotee. So the question comes, how can we develop that? And no, how can we develop that? And who is awarding this ever new rasa taste? How is happening? What is the science behind it? So let's take a look. Read the translation and then we'll see what Srila Jiva Goswami says about it. Translation, please.
Always engaging in the activities of devotional service, devotees feel ever increasingly fresh and new in all their activities. The all-knower, the super soul within the heart of the devotee, makes everything increasingly fresh.
Makes it fresh? Paramatma. Who makes it fresh? Paramatma. Any example where devotee hankering for spiritual service, devotional service? Give me more, give me more. Ye dil mange more.
Hanumanji
Hanumanji. Like what?
is always eager to serve.
He's always eager, but I'm just saying somebody explicitly expressed, Ye dil mange more, give me more, give me more. Srila Rupa Goswami, Tunde Tandavani. My dear Lord, I wish I could have millions of ears and millions of tongue. Every time I chant your holy name, so that he goes on saying how I feel so nourished, so that is a point. So ever new, feeling ever new or fresh. Paramatma blesses us. Now, to whom would Paramatma bless? Prabhupada writes in the purport, only to a sincere practitioner. So Prabhupada says in the purport, therefore, the chanting of the holy names of the Lord can never become stale. If you call Pepsi, 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 it will become boring. But the chanting of the holy name will never become stale. But if our experience is that we are seriously struggling with chanting, the problem is not with the chanting. The problem is with our practice. The problem, if we are getting, same stories, same lessons in Bhagavad Gita, same thing Prabhupada is writing everywhere, the problem is not with the Shastra. The problem is with our application, which means our relationship with the Lord is somewhere broken, because of which we are not getting that reciprocation. That's the point here. Please read the translation.
This is known as the Brahman position by the advocates of the absolute truth. In such a liberated stage, Brahmabhuta, one is never bewildered, nor does one lament or become unnecessarily jubilant. This is due to the Brahmabhuta situation.
So if your chanting feels stale, it is not mantra's fault, it is our approach. Who gives us this, the taste, ever new taste, is Paramatma. To whom does Paramatma gives? One who is sincere. Prabhupada writes in the last paragraph of the purport, the last sixth or seventh last line, beginning from there, quoting Srila Jiva Goswami, Prabhupada writes, the Supersoul gives instruction to the sincere, unalloyed devotee in how he can progress more and more in approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam. So there, when Krishna says, I give them the intelligence. Who gives the intelligence? Paramatma. Sometimes we Hare Krishna devotees highly ignore Paramatma. Paramatma, वो परमात्मावादी के लिए हम एडवांस डिवोटीज हैं. हमारे लिए डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन विद द लॉर्ड. हम सेक्रेटरी के पास नहीं जाते, पीएम ऑफिस में नहीं जाते, डायरेक्ट मोदी को कॉल करते हैं. अपना रुतबा हाई रहता है. So who gives that? Paramatma does that. Srila Jiva Goswami in this connection says that the super soul, the plenary expression of the personality of God, exists in everyone's heart. But in the heart of the devotee, he reveals himself as ever increasingly new. Being inspired by him, the devotee experiences increased transcendental bliss in the execution of his devotional service. The same activity of chanting, the same arti, so it should ideally become boring. With all material perspectives, or our all material knowledge will fail to understand how we can continue to do the same thing. So many times people have asked me, are you going to chant the same mantra? I mean, I don't do it now. In the past, if in case you have to go for some program, somebody has invited, particularly Keertan, they would always ask a question, Bro, और कौन सी भजन गाने वाले यार और कौन से भजन गाने वाले so for them ना अरे यार हरे कृष्णा बोरिंग हो गया ना यार कितना सुनेंगे. So it's always there. Okay, so very important market. So text number 20, the lesson was devotional services ever fresh. Now text number 21. Maitreya एवं ब्रुवाणं पुरुषात् भाजनं जनार्दनं प्राञ्जलय प्रचेतसः तदर्शन् ध्वस्ततमो रजोमला गिरा गृणन् गद्गदया सुहृत्तमम्. Translation, please.
The great sage Maitreya said, after the personality of Godhead spoke thus, the Prachetas began to offer him prayers. The Lord is the bestower of all success in life and is the supreme benefactor. He is also the supreme friend who takes away all miserable conditions experienced by a devotee. In a faltering voice, due to ecstasy, the Prachetas began to offer prayers. They were purified by the presence of the Lord, who was before them face to face.
So, the lesson or the highlight of this was the Lord presence purifies immediately. And that's the focus of Prabhupada's purpose. Whatever success, second line, we want in life can be attained by the mercy of the Lord. Since the Prachetas had already attained the Lord's mercy, they were no longer subject to the contamination of the material modes. Next paragraph, Prabhupada quotes, Holy name of the Lord is the Lord himself. If one chants and hears, he becomes purified. So, yena tena prakarena, by hook or crook, come in the association of the Lord, the living entity becomes purified. And this concludes our discussion on the stories, on the instructions of the Lord. So, a quick practical takeaways. For maintaining unity, what we need to do? For maintaining unity, a common purpose is needed. As long as there are only two purposes in this creation, to fulfill or to please the Lord or to please the I. Whenever there is I, imagine each one of us trying to please the I. How many concentric circles would be there? And everything is going to collide with each other. That's the reason in the world outside there is so much conflict. Everyone has got pratak dharma, different duties like this. Now, for Grahastha devotees, what were the takeaway Prabhupada discussed? So, as Lord encouraged Prachetas to get married, Prabhupada makes a point. Do not reject material life, try to spiritualize it. Offer results to Krishna and use the material success given by the Lord as a tool to preach Krishna consciousness, not get trapped. Third important takeaway is how to avoid stagnation in spiritual life. Pray to the Lord. When we become sincere in devotional life, the Lord, through His plenary expansion as Paramatma, gives us newer and newer experiences. The Super Soul makes everything fresh for the sincere devotees. And then there was a verse where it was mentioned about how, Prabhupada mentions the purport, giving the story of the birth of Marisha. So Prabhupada says that how Indra, when he sees somebody becoming very advanced, he becomes envious and he creates obstacles. So we're making a point, this material life, the material world is full of envy. It is designed in such a way. So when we're going to make advancement, opposition is but natural. So we don't have to necessarily, broadcast our success or our advancement. Share with those who care for you. Otherwise, just maintain a low profile. Otherwise, there's gonna be a lot of opposition. There was a point here, and finally, the ultimate benediction. What all did Prachetas receive as a benediction from the Lord? Wife. One thing. What else did they achieved as a benediction?
Strong senses.
Strong senses. What else did they achieve as a benediction? Material opulences. What else did they achieve as a benediction from the Lord? Long life. This is all about, what I want. That is what we are able to pay attention. What else did Lord bless them? Huh? Ticket. I thought you said cricket. Ticket. Okay. So Lord bless them that you will not ever get distracted from your devotional life. In other words, Lord bless them with pure devotional service. That's the idea. And finally, return home, back to Godhead. All right. So let's move forward now. Prachetas will speak. Text number 22. Prachetasa uchuhu. Namo Namah Klesha Vinashanaya Nirupito Da Gunavayaya Manovacho Vega Purojavaya Sarvakshamarge Ragatadhvane Namaha. Translation, please.
The Prachetas spoke as follows. Dear Lord, you relieve all kinds of material distress. Your magnanimous transcendental qualities and holy name are all auspicious. This conclusion is already settled. You can go faster than the speed of mind and words. You cannot be perceived by material senses. We therefore offer you respectful obeisances again and again.
The conclusion is already settled, which means the Vedas are conclusive. There is no research needed. So whatever the Veda says, for example, Bhagavatam is describing this, is all conclusive. We cannot understand the Lord through our research. That is the first point. Text number 23. Translation, please. The beautiful prayers, let's read out.
Good Lord.
The Sanskrit also, let's recite. शुद्धाय शान्ताय नमः स्वनिष्ठया
शुद्धाय शान्ताय नमः स्वनिष्ठाय
मनस्य पार्थं विलसद्वयाय
मनस्य पादसद्वयाय
जगत्स्थानलयोदयेषु गृहीतमाया गुणविग्रहाय. Very beautiful thing. In this verse, they're saying, my dear Lord, the world becomes meaningless when the mind is fixed on you. Something similar says, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Viraname. So this material world is futile, there's no meaning to it without your presence. And here Pachita is saying, Mighty Lord, this world becomes meaningless when we take your shelter. When we pay attention to you, then there's nothing for us to do here. Translation, please.
Dear Lord, we beg to offer our obeisances unto you. When the mind is fixed upon you, the world of duality, although a place for material enjoyment, appears meaningless.
Which means we can be in this world, but not of this world. This is the statement. So advanced devotees, just like Krishna said, avajananti ma mudha manusham tanumashitaha. So we have discussed in the past many times. The nature of envy is we try to find some familiarity or similarity. Similarity, not familiarity, similarity. So the moment a person says, "Oh, I am also human being," he also looks like human being, so must be ordinary as I am ordinary. No, that's a whole difference here. So, Lord is Lord, advanced devotees are advanced devotees. We should never bring them to our level thinking or evaluating them from our perspective, perception. They may be doing externally what we are doing, but they are in this world, but not of this world. Why? Because where is his mind? Their mind have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. That's the point here. Please continue.
Your transcendental form is full of transcendental bliss. We therefore offer our respects unto you. Your appearances as Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva are meant for the purpose of creating, maintaining, and annihilating this cosmic manifestation.
So the four important things Prabhupada highlights in the purpose. So you are in this world but not of the world. All material activities for such persons become spiritual because they don't do anything for I. Everything is done in relation to the Lord. All material attractions become stale. They don't have any enjoyment, any of those material things. And the fourth, for such individuals, detachment comes naturally, not by force. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatya Suvairagyam. So that's the meaning. For such individuals, advanced personalities, the one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, for them detachment comes naturally. Nothing is forced. That's the beauty of this. Text number 24. Namo Vishuddha Sattvaya Hare Harimedase Vasudevaya Krishnaya Prabhave Sarvasattvata Namo Vishuddha Sattvaya Hare Harimedase Vasudevaya Krishnaya Brahme Sarva Satvata Namo Vishuddha Sattvaya Hare Harimedase Vasudevaya Krishnaya Prabhuve Sarvasattvata. I recited this is important for us to memorize and very easy also. So, translation, please.
Dear Lord, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you because your existence is completely independent of all material influences.
So, Vishuddha Sattvaya, this is the meaning of that. Vishuddha Sattvaya, there is no material entanglement. Okay.
Your Lordship always takes away the devotee's miserable conditions.
Hare, which means takes away miserable conditions. Hare, Harimedase, and takes away the devotee also back to Godhead. Please go ahead.
For your brain plans how to do so. You live everywhere as Paramatma. Therefore, you are known as Vasudev. You also accept Vasudev as your father, and you are celebrated by the name Krishna. You are so kind that you always increase the influence of all kinds of devotees.
So, Sarva Prabhave, Prabhav Badana. Prabhave Sarva Satvata. Satvata means the great devotees. Prabhave Sarva. What you do is you always glorify your devotees. So, Namo Vishuddha Sattvaya. So, you're beyond the motion of material nature. Hari, You're always thinking about taking away the problems of your devotees. Hari Medase, Hari Medase means thinking, Medase, who's always planning how to deliver the devotee. Vasudevaya, your Paramatma, Krishnaya, Prabhave, Sarvasatvatam. And you're so kind and magnanimous that you're always planning how to glorify the devotees. So, this is very important purport. The purport Prabhupada highlights Vishnu is Vishnu, Brahma is Brahma, Rudra is Rudra. They are not same. So, things Prabhupada mentioned, never equate Vishnu with Devatas, even powerful ones like Brahma and Shiva. Understand the proper hierarchy. Lord, from Lord comes Vishnu Tattva says Shiva, Brahma, and Jivas. And the third Lord is always planning for our liberation. Even Lord is planning. Lord is planning to take us back home, back to God, and we are planning how to run away. So Lord is chasing after us, and we are running away from the Lord. You can imagine what is the scene. Okay. Text number 25. Text number 25. Yeah. Namah Kamala Nabhaya. Kamala Mahaline. Namah Kamala Padaya. Namaste Kamalikshana. Very similar verse in the first canto. Namaste. Yeah. Okay. Please read the translation.
Dear Lord, we offer our respectful obeisances onto you because your abdomen sprouts the lotus flower, the origin of all living entities. You are always decorated with a lotus garland, and your feet resembles the lotus flower with all its fragrance.
Please read the purport.
The word Kamala Nabhaya indicates that Lord Vishnu is the origin of the material creation. From the abdomen of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, a lotus flower sprouts. Lord Brahma, the first creature of the universe, is born from this lotus flower, and subsequently, Lord Brahma creates the whole universe. The is the origin of everything. This is also confirmed as Bhagavad Gita 10.8.
All right. Now, text number 26. Very important point Prachita is saying. Namaha Kamala Kinjalka.
Namaha Kamala Kinjalka.
Kushanga Malavashase.
Sanga Malavahasya.
Sarvabhuta Nivasaya.
Sarvabhuta Nivasaya.
Namo Yumshmahi Shakshine.
Namo Yumshmahi Sakshine.
Translation, please.
Dear Lord, the garment you have put on is yellowish in color, like the saffron of a lotus flower, but it is not made up of anything material. Since you live in everyone's heart, you're the direct witness of all the activities of all living entities. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you again and again.
So, Sarva Bhuta Nivashaya, Prabhupada takes this, and Namo Yungshmahi Sakshine. So, Nivasaya, you are the shelter, and Sakshine, you are the witness. And Prabhupada dedicates this purport to the fact that Lord gives everyone according to their desire. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, if somebody wants to forget Krishna, Lord will fulfill even that desire. That's the point, Sakshine, supreme witness. So the highlights of the purport is our desires determine our destiny. We know this from the 5th chapter, verses 12, 13, and 14 of Bhagavad Gita. The Paramatma fulfills whatever we desire. Of course, not everything, but based on our karmic account. So if we cultivate the desire to serve the Lord, it is the Lord who's going to facilitate it. And the most important thing, be careful what we desire. And more important than that, be careful what you desire while chanting the holy names. There are high probability it will get fulfilled. Now your rest of the day, your kind of mind is yelling, Paramatma is hearing. But when we're chanting the holy names of the Lord, we are in direct association of the Lord. So not only Paramatma, Krishna is also hearing. And therefore, those who chant Gayatri Mantra, why there is so much restriction on Gayatri Mantra? One of the reasons for restriction on Gayatri Mantra, if you're chanting Gayatri Mantra and if you're desiring anything material, it will get fulfilled. So therefore, it is said, unless somebody is qualified, basic qualification, purification, it is not given. In a sense, it is given only when you're going to desire for devotional service. So, not a good idea for devotees to jump into, Brahman initiation. People, just like people are eager to get a new name, people are eager to get a thread. Prabhupada called it do paise ka thread. And after having a thread, you're chanting Gayatri and you're desiring काश मेरा promotion हो जाता, काश मैं अमेरिका घुमाता, तो हो गया तुम्हारे जीवन का. So take care of that. So that's the point in this purpose. So be very careful of what we desire. Sakshini, text number 27. Rupam Bhagavata to eta
रूपं भगवता त्वयिता
Shesha Klesha Samshayam
अशेषसंशयम्
Avaskritam na Klishtanam
विष्कृतं न क्लिष्टान
Yad Anukampitam.
किं कल्पितम्.
Translation, please.
Dear Lord, we conditioned souls are always covered by ignorance in the bodily conception of life. We therefore always prefer the miserable conditions of material existence. To deliver us from these miserable conditions, you have advented yourself in this transcendental form. This is evidence of your unlimited, causeless mercy upon those of us who are suffering in this way. Then what to speak of the devotees to whom you are always so favorably disposed?
So, in this verse, Pracetās is saying, my dear Lord, you are so magnanimous that you appear for our sake. Prabhupada takes it to another level. Prabhupada says, well, Lord is so merciful that he appears not only for the sake of devotees, he's so merciful even for the asuras, that he appears for their sake also. For whose sake Lord appeared? Give me an example. Hiranyakashipu, or some can say Prahlad Maharaj. What is that? Satyam vidhatum nijabhratya bhashitam. Why did I appear? Because I had to fulfill the words of my dear servant. निज भाष क्या सत्यम विदातम निज भृत्य भाष्यम भृत्य भाष्यतम. But Lord also appeared to kill Hiranyakashipu because the Devtas had prayed for that. Why did Lord Ram appear? Because Mother Earth and the Devtas had prepared. Why did Lord Krishna appear? So Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Paritranaya Sadhuna Vinashaya. So using that, Prabhupada is saying the Lord is so merciful not only for the devotees, also for the asuras, because he appears for their sake also. And then Prabhupada gives an example of battlefield of Kurukshetra. So those who all died on the battlefield, regardless of their rank and file, those who died seeing Krishna, they all went back home, back to Godhead. This is the great mercy. So there are different incarnations of the Lord. Then Prabhupada builds a puppet. But among all that, which is the most magnanimous and compassionate expansion of the Lord? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, we are of Gaudiya Parampara, so मैं Chaitanya Mahaprabhu को गुणगान करना चाहिए, which is correct. But there is something which is even more merciful than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Holy name.
Holy name. What else? What else? For Kanishta, particularly, Vigraha. The holy name doesn't resonate for Kanishta. So what is that? Vigraha avatar. Archa Vigraha. So Prabhupada speaks about Archa Vigraha in the purport. God is so merciful, he appears made up of metal because we cannot understand him as he is. So then he allows us to be present in matter if we craft like that. So that's text number 27, which means we should never underestimate the power of darshan. Taking darshan of the deities is as good as taking darshan of the Lord, because Lord have appeared. So we may not have the deities here, but we have a cutout of the same Lord who is worshipped in the temple. So therefore, it's very powerful. Text number 28. Text number 28, I guess we should continue from. So tomorrow is Thursday? So, yeah, I guess we'll discuss enough verses. So I kind of second, I thought this is the last chapter, so I thought I'll complete by tomorrow. We have one more chapter remaining. We'll see that next time. So we'll cover remaining verses tomorrow. So that I was thinking maybe before Ramnami I'll finish fourth canto, but I was wrong in my calculation. So we'll pause here. There are other 20 verses remaining, which we'll discuss tomorrow. Maybe I can complete 31 also, just 30 verses. I just want to have that feeling that before Ramnami we finish fourth canto. Let's see if I can sum up, because largely it's more of a storyline, but the instructions by Narad Muni is important. We'll see that anyways. All right, so we'll pause here. A quick recap. We have time now. We can have a quick recap. Any one point you'd like to highlight? Do a quick recap what we have discussed today. So we discussed some instructions of the Lord which we couldn't cover yesterday. So after instructions of the Lord, then we discussed about what Pracetās offered as a prayer to the Lord. This is what we are discussing now. We'll continue to discuss tomorrow. So two things: Lord's instructions and Pracetās prayers. Any point that you remember from this? We can just quickly take it and then we'll pause it for you today. Yes, pass on the mic quick. In the sequence, we can have one inputs. Where's the mic? You're starting? So you start, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so it is mentioned that Param Drishtva Nivartate, that Paramatma gives that taste, and that taste can be given to the sincere devotee, and that rasa will be ever fresh.
So spiritual taste is ever fresh. Spiritual life is ever fresh. And who gives that experience? Paramatma. Paramatma gives to whom? One who is sincere. So if we are finding our chanting to be stale, the problem is not with chanting, the problem is my approach to it. Thank you. What else?
This material world is full of envy. So you given
The material world is full of
envy. Yeah.
Have to be careful. We have to be careful about, again, all those pointers that we discussed in a separate session. Yeah, please continue.
So, Prabhuji,
those of you online would like to share one more point, please, you can raise your hand. I will call upon you shortly. Yeah, go ahead.
We can be in this world, but not of this world. We actually discussed 4 points there. Second one is all material activities become spiritual when we engage in the service of the Lord. All the material things become stale when we become the devotee. And fourth one is the detachment comes naturally, not by force.
For whom this was discussed?
It's from the Pracetās to the...
For whom, not from where. Okay. Who manifests these qualities? Let him answer. He has written the pointers, no? Yes. It's important to write the heading. What you've written. For whom it is expressed.
It's for the pure devotees.
So mature devotees, advanced devotees, this is their state. Externally, they may look like doing the same thing, all the performing material actions, but they all are spiritual in nature. Yes. Anything?
Yeah.
Pass on quickly. Who has to speak?
Prabhu, advanced devotees may seem to be doing whatever we are doing, but their mind is fully absorbed in Krishna.
Okay.
So, unity in purpose.
Yes, unity. We started with that. So we can have unity if we have a common purpose.
Obedience attracts mercy and disobedience creates misery.
Okay. Obedience attracts mercy. Obedience creates auspiciousness and disobedience creates misery. Okay. Anything else?
In Grihastha life, we should offer our results to Krishna.
Yeah, Grihastha life offer results. You don't have to give up material enjoyment, but spiritualize it. And all the God-given talents and the gifts, if we use it in the service, then it will elevate us, or else it will become a trap for us. Okay, thank you for that. Anything else?
Super Soul fulfills desires of the every living entities. Super Soul fulfills the desires of every living entities. So we have to be careful in our
As a practicing devotee, we should be careful. And in that I was saying during chanting, what we desire becomes very important. Be careful. And in particular, Gayatri Mantra, it is said, if you desire something, it gets fulfilled. So be careful what we desire. Anything else from the audience here? Yeah.
One who is sincere, Paramatma gives the taste for the devotional service.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. What else?
Prabhuji, we should not
Okay, let's take online devotees. Yeah, go ahead.
broadcast or share our spiritual inquiries or realizations with
Not
anyone.
Inquiries you can. Success. Varyameshate prashna kritalokahitam napraha atmasamataha pumsam. So that verse says everyone acknowledges your question. So question is fine. We never said inquiry. It's about success. It creates an environment of envy unnecessarily because the world is like that. Yes, go ahead. Who's
The
speaking?
Lord is not different from his Archa Vigraha form. So when we worship the deities, we should understand that they are not different from the Lord himself. And the Lord appears in that form so that we can perceive and get a
Thank you.
relation.
Archaviga is the most potent and compassionate form of the Lord. Okay?
The presence of Lord purifies.
The presence of the Lord purifies, and we have the opportunity to be in the presence of the Lord through holy name. So when we chant the holy names of the Lord attentively, it purifies. Okay? What else?
I have a question.
Yeah. Once.
So you told that whatever we desire during the time of chanting, it gets fulfilled. And some of those things I've seen got fulfilled, but those were wrong. So can we still, like, we do not know what kind of desires will come. Sometimes some.
No, it's not that what kind of desires will come. As a practicing devotees, we have to be conscious. Therefore, if we live a very mechanical life, so what is the question of it? Mechanical life means material life. Conscious life means you're becoming conscious. You have to be conscious. And if you see some sinful desires coming, throw it out of the box. You can't entertain it. We can't just give an excuse, oh, I have no control on my desires. Okay, desires will come as the waves, but now you're pondering on it. You're munching on it. That's the reason that's holding up. Disregard it totally. Shun it away. So no, we can give it up. This kind of thing doesn't hold true for devotees. Otherwise, it's too much rajasic life, not under control. What to speak of tamasic life? So we should have some control, and we should have some awareness about what's going on. And if something is wrong, we have to discourage that. Okay.
My question is, so sometimes desires pops up which we are not desiring to get fulfilled, but it comes because it is there in subtle mind.
Yeah, that is as a samskara, they're coming. So they would always be there. Many times people complain suddenly, some kind of sensual desires would manifest. It's not that you said no chanting, thinking of that, but suddenly because the past activities, they'll come. That will always happen like this. It comes, let it pass.
So can we also pray before chanting that whatever has come in the subtle mind or whatever I have desired while chanting long years back, please do not fulfill?
Yeah, you can. That's okay. But the point is not that you're desiring it. Desiring means when you're overthinking on it. If something just comes to your mind because of the past samskara, it's not that you're voluntarily desiring it. They're there. I'm not saying it's not there. They're there. They're coming to the surface, but don't lash out into it. Don't think about it. Don't make plans for fulfilling it. Then you're intensifying the desire. Then you're telling the Lord, Lord, I want really, showing the Lord that I'm really interested into that. Some sensual desire comes, let it pass. You can't let it pass. You have to literally shun it away. You have to do this is tucha. This is tucha. How can I think like this? You have to disregard like that. So those will be there. Okay, we have to be careful, but
Now, can I ask a query,
don't
Prabhu?
entertain. Second thing, very important, don't entertain any revengeful attitude towards Vaishnava. Don't think anything negative about Vaishnavas during the chanting of the Lord. Can you imagine? The Lord Himself says the worst of all offenses is Vaishnava Aparadh. And while in front of Him, you are blaspheming a Vaishnava. That will be, don't do that. It's very, very serious. Don't do that. Okay? That's it. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we'll pause here then.
Prabhu, I
Hare
have a query.
Krishna.
Is my voice clear?
Yes, Mother. Go ahead, Mother.
Yeah. So, Prabhu, you gave the example of Dhruv Maharaj and said that Krishna gave him the material desires. I mean, his desires fulfilled because Dhruv Maharaj will not misutilize it after having got the darshan of the Lord. But we see in many cases that Nalakavera, Manigriva, and all We had many of us, for that reason, had the opportunity for sense gratification. Like the other day, I was just going out hearing some Bollywood songs. So unnecessarily, our mind does get distracted, although we don't want to get distracted. So why does Krishna provide opportunities for sense gratification even though we don't desire it?
No, Krishna doesn't provide what you don't desire. What you have is what you have desired. I'm not sure why and how, what context you brought the example of Nalkuver and Manigriva. Dhruva, I understood.
Right? They are sons of Kuvera, a pure devotee of the Lord.
So where it is said, Kuver is a pure devotee of the Lord. And if somebody is a pure devotee of the Lord, where it is said, his sons will be pure devotee. This is too much interpolation, no?
No, Dhruva Maharaj got his material desire fulfilled only because, only after he became a pure devotee. But we see instances that Krishna fulfills the material desires of devotees even though they don't become completely purified, and that leads to the
It is
fall down
not
of
that
devotees.
Krishna fulfills desires of devotees. Krishna, as Paramatma, fulfills desires for everyone, even for demons. Kamsa, abducting or imprisoning Ugrasen. He could have done it without the sanction of Paramatma? No. Kamsa putting his sister, Devaki and Vasudev behind the prison bar. Does it mean he did it without the permission of Krishna? No. So everything is facilitated by Paramatma, that reason. Okay? So what is what we desire?
In the sadhaka stage, that means does Krishna not help us? By not providing, because it is said that once you take up the process of bhakti.
So there is no role of Krishna in the sadhaka's life. There is a role of Paramatma. And that Paramatma appears as Guru. So if a person is stubborn enough not to hear what the seniors advises them, where is the question the person would hear what Paramatma wants? Paramatma have manifested as Chaitya Guru, and the person is not willing to hear, then what to think of hearing to Paramatma or Krishna? So Krishna is not involved in that way. Through Paramatma functions. Fine?
Okay, so obedience is the key.
Yes.
Okay, Prabhu.
Anything else? The sound is too low. Fine?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes.
Prabhuji, like we learn so many lessons about the rights and the wrongs, but at times something that appears wrong, but if it's being used in the service of Lord, is it justified? Like we just spoke about the success and sharing your success with anyone, but if we share the success to increase the enthusiasm of anyone who is sincerely seeking, is it justified, Prabhuji?
See, if in case we are confused about our actions, how it's going to impact me and impact others, then work under guidance. Or else wait for that much maturity when we know what is right and what is wrong. Until then, it's better to stick strictly with what has been advised. Or else we have that much maturity or ability to discern and then we act. Otherwise, we're going to unnecessarily invite troubles to oneself. All right?
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
All right. We pause here for today. Yeah, we'll pause here. Thank you so much. Jai Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.